Visit our sponsor LiveWatch right now. Home security made easy. Plug and protect do-it-yourself wireless technology. Save 40 to 60% from competitor systems. Patented ASAP instant message and fast response make responding to a potential emergency as easy as checking your cell phone and sending a text message to friends and family. No contracts and cancel at any time. The fastest alarm system technology ever created. Take control of your family's security with LiveWatch today. Click the link below. Hey everybody, I'm Christopher Green. You're tuning into AMTV Alternative Media Television. I was up late last night. I couldn't really sleep. And I got this digital fortune cookie. From time to time, I'll read a fortune. Sometimes it'll be a real fortune cookie. Sometimes it'll be a digital one. And my digital fortune cookie last night said, live each day like it's your last. It kind of got to me a little bit because, that's something that I constantly think about. Am I living every single day like it's my last? Because I'm a very blessed guy. I've got tremendous blessings in my life. I've got a tremendous career. I've got a tremendous family. I've got tremendous friends. And I'm blessed in so many ways. And I want to make sure that I'm actually living up to those expectations, that I'm actually following the right path, that I'm doing all the things necessary in this life with the short amount of time that I have. It's like the slippage of sand through our fingertips. We don't realize that we just have this much time left to make our mark. And I think a lot of the time we think of this selfishly, like how am I going to make myself happy? How am I going to glorify myself? How am I going to make money or do this or do that? Or, we try to attach it to success that doesn't really equate to real success. Real success, I think, is building a family. It's building relationships. It's building friends. It's doing something you believe in every single day, something that I'm honored to do here at AMTV. It's having a passion for something. It's giving something 110%. And it's also the way that you look at things in life. When you fail, it's how you respond to it. When you make a mistake in life, as we all do, as we're all human, it's how you respond to it. That's the difference, I think, between a lot of people. And so the fortune cookie got to me a little bit last night, and I'm going to do everything in my power to take those risks every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to live up to those expectations, and I want you to know that I'm continued to be committed to that. And again, I am so honored and so thankful to be doing this in front of a camera for over 5 years now, living my dream, living my passion, and it is truly translated in every aspect of my life. My career, my business, my personal relationships, my family, and my friends. It is truly an honor. Looking at the big picture where we're headed, there's been a lot of more of the same in the news happening in geopolitics over the past several weeks, several months, almost kind of ad nauseum. We have this economic perspective, this economic look, what's happening on Wall Street, the Dow Jones at these artificial levels, rallying off the lows of the S&P 666 throughout the 2000 and during the 2008-2009 financial crisis. Now we have this oil and commodity collapse, the pundits telling us spurred by the Saudis trying to bleed the frackers dry here in the USA. Really, I think it's just to put pressure on our enemies like Russia and Iran. We have the drumbeat of war continue. King Bibi, Israel's prime minister, said yesterday, this was not really covered by the mainstream media at all, that basically the negotiations that have taken place by the Obama administration will lead to war. And not only will it lead to a war, it will lead to the catastrophic war. He means a nuclear war. Based on the negotiations that Obama has made with, I guess, the USA's newfound friends, Iran, even though they still think of us as the great Satan, and the Khamenei tweets out pics of Obama, what appears to look like him committing suicide, will give them a nuke bomb within the next 10 to 15 years. And once they reach that 10 to 15 year period, Benjamin Netanyahu, think of him what you will, a lot of people hate him, some people like him, It's very divided. There will be a breakout period of literally zero. So what he says it's going to spawn is an arms race in one of the most dangerous parts of the world, the Middle East. And he's right about that. Love him or hate him, despise him, he's right about that. It is going to start an arms race, if it hasn't already, in the Middle East, one of the most dangerous places and environments in the world. And you know, what we should fear as people is a preemptive attack. The fact that it's not far-fetched that Israel flat out preemptively strikes Iran in the not too distant future. And this boils over into the Middle East. And we live through nuclear events and Holocaust type events unlike anything we've ever seen since, you know, World War II or our grandparents' generation. It's staggering where we're headed. It's staggering living in this moment of history, in American history, where it's so easy to be cynical to see how our country's just been totally and utterly destroyed, how there's this feeling that we're lost after just a couple hundred years, how, you know, people are just basically, leadership in Washington, D.C. is just trampling on the U.S. Constitution, in the Bill of Rights daily, how we're transforming to this politically correct society that nobody even understands anymore, that doesn't look anything like what this country used to be. And we have the drumbeat of war. Nothing's changing. We're negotiating with our once long-time enemies. There's an arms race taking place in the Middle East. There's this economic warfare that's taking place. Take a look again at the commodity rout, the collapse in oil prices, natural gas producers, and those in the oil and natural gas industry, companies just being slaughtered right now. We have all of this happening, and there's this sense of confusion, which is really, if you study history, how people felt during the collapse of Rome or the collapse of any other empire. There's that sense of confusion. There's that sense of anger. There's that sense of disbelief that how did we get here? How is this even possible? And so I think it's important that we have a frame of reference, not just a perspective on our life, that we're only here for a mere blip in the grand time scale of things. Again, sand falling through our fingertips. But that we are also living through a profound moment in history. And not just some things are changing, everything is changing. How will this affect our children? How will this affect future generations? What will America look like 10, 20, 50, 100 years from now, if we can even survive that long? What will the world look like? Will the world survive? Will humans survive? Or will we go the way of extinction of the dinosaurs? Will we kill each other? Will we destroy ourselves? Are we the disease? You know, we see this explored in movies. You know, the virus being humanity. You know, it's never enough. We need more. We need to exploit resources. We need to exploit people. You know, I talk about it all the time how nothing's changed. We still have kings and queens in Washington, D.C. or your respective government, wherever you are in the rest of the world. And then you have the slaves. You have the top 0.001%, and then you've got basically the peasants. Nothing's changed. Maybe a little bit better quality of life. We've all got iPhones now, so now that we've got iPhones, it's cool to be a slave. We have big tech dominating the landscape, companies like Netflix, for example, threatening media giants like Disney, their stock moving parabolically. I mean, this is a strange world, this big tech world, this technology environment, this social media age. You know, it's funny, people think it's a joke. I was reading an article about another very popular YouTuber the other day. It's like when he tells people that he's a YouTuber, and I don't necessarily consider myself a YouTuber, I consider myself somebody in media, but people kind of think it's a joke. And the guy that penned this says he actually has 30 employees. You know, well, it's just amazing how this world's changed, how this is our reality, that social media is our reality, that big tech is our reality. You know, I've asked this many times before in the countless videos I've put out over the years. Is this enriching our lives? Is this healthy? What are we getting in return for all of this? Is this making our youth smarter than they were 10, 20, 50 years ago? Is this better for the country? Is it better for humanity? Is it better for the world? Is it promoting growth? Is it promoting integration? Or is it just simply destroying an old paradigm? And probably a little bit of both. I think there's extreme positives, there's extreme negatives. For every new job technology creates, it destroys and kills and murders and maims 1,000 old jobs. It's why the banking system no longer works. It's why Wall Street essentially no longer works. It's why the Federal Reserve backstops everything, because the old system and the old paradigm is broken. It's been, I don't know if exploited is the right word, but everything has changed because the paradigm has changed. Our reality has changed. Companies like Google are now more powerful than, I would argue, any government in the world today. That's extreme power. That's extreme responsibility. And I think the problem with it is a lot of people aren't thinking for themselves anymore. That's one of the things that we talk about on this channel so much, so vigorously and so intently. People aren't thinking for themselves. When you give up your ability to think for yourself, that's the equivalent of what I think the Bible has told us about: taking the mark of the beast, letting something else decide for you. Every time you have a question, you just Google it or you Bing it, and everybody arrives at the same conclusion. Everybody plugged into the same hive. Are we not treating that as if it's the new God? Is Google and these big tech giants, is that now God? You know, for a lot of kids, a lot of youth, a lot of the uneducated that don't have the life experience, that all that they recognize and all they've been exposed to is this technology, might view it as God. There seems to be this movement towards things like the singularity that these Google executives talk about, how man is trying now to merge themselves with the machine, with the superior technology. You know, the idea of the singularity is that once we hit there, the technology will be smarter than all of human consciousness, and basically the machines take over. One of the co-founders of Apple, Steve Wozniak, said that at some point in the future, these machines will treat us like we're pets, like we're dogs, and we're hoping that they treat us well. I mean, this is the new world that we live in. This is the new paradigm. In it, there's tremendous excitement, there's tremendous opportunity in business and in life and personally. In chaos, there is always that sense. But everything is changing. Everything is different. And each day as we go through our lives, and maybe we're running the rat race, or we're just trying to keep our heads afloat, we're trying to provide for our family, and we're trying to find a semblance of happiness, it's easy to lose focus. It's easy to forget about the big picture. It's easy to be a consumer, quite literally, and to be consumed by the dogma, by this new God that is taking over our lives, and lose our perspective, lose our ability to think for ourselves, to really see the forest through the trees. I'd like to hear your thoughts on all of this. Again, I am incredibly blessed, folks. Thank you for your tremendous support, supporting this channel, sharing each and every video, your comments of support, etc., your criticism. It is an honor to do this. Thank you so much. Hard hitting it in your face, I'm Christopher Green as usual. Get this video out everywhere and click the link below to support our sponsor.